Ladies, a strong connection with your man isn't built overnight. It's not a matter of luck, fate, or simply hoping things will work out. It's built brick by brick, moment by moment, through intention, understanding, and effort. Many women struggle to understand what truly makes a man feel connected, respected, and drawn closer. They think love alone is enough. But love without understanding fades, affection without depth weakens, and attention without true connection will never be enough. A man does not connect the way you do. His emotions are not always expressed in words, and his love is not always spoken in the way you expect. But that does not mean he does not crave connection. It does not mean he does not want to feel understood, supported, and valued. The problem is not that men do not want to connect. The problem is that so many connections are built on the wrong foundation. A foundation of assumptions, of unspoken expectations, of misunderstandings that grow into distance. And then you wonder why he pulls away, why he stops talking, why he seems distant, even when he is right beside you. Respect is the foundation of connection, the invisible thread that binds a man to a woman in a way that love alone cannot. A man's deepest desire is not just to be loved, but to be respected, to be seen as capable, valued, and worthy. When a man feels respected, he thrives, he steps up, he commits on a deeper level. But when he feels disrespected, dismissed, or constantly criticized, something inside him shuts down. He withdraws, not because he wants to, but because he feels like no matter what he does, it is never enough. Many women pour love into a relationship thinking it will keep the connection strong, but they unknowingly miss the one thing that truly fuels a man's emotional bond: respect. A woman can love a man deeply, but if she constantly points out his flaws, dismisses his efforts, or makes him feel like he is failing in the relationship, that love will not reach him in the way she intends. He will feel unappreciated, unseen, and eventually disconnected. Respect is not about blind obedience or ignoring mistakes. It is about valuing him as he is, recognizing his strengths, and making him feel like the man he wants to be. A man connects with the person who makes him feel like he is enough, not the one who constantly reminds him of where he falls short. He wants to feel like he is winning in your eyes, not losing. He wants to feel like his efforts matter, not like they are unnoticed or unimportant. A man does not need perfection from a woman, but he does need to feel like he is capable in her presence. When a woman sees his strengths and highlights them, he naturally becomes a better version of himself. He starts to show up differently, with more energy, more passion, and more commitment. He feels empowered to be the best version of himself because he knows he is seen, appreciated, and valued. But when he feels like nothing he does is good enough, he loses motivation. He stops trying as hard. He withdraws emotionally, not because he wants to, but because he does not feel like he can win. Men do not respond well to constant correction or criticism, even when it is meant to help. They do not grow under pressure that makes them feel small. They grow when they feel encouraged, when they feel supported, when they know that their woman believes in them, even when they are struggling. A man who feels respected in his relationship will fight for it, protect it, and invest in it. He will make an effort to communicate, to grow, to become better, not because he is being forced to, but because he wants to, because he feels safe, because he feels like he is enough. A woman who truly understands how powerful respect is will see a different side of her man. She will see him light up when she acknowledges his efforts. She will notice how he becomes more engaged, more affectionate, more invested when he feels like he is winning in the relationship. But when respect is missing, when he feels constantly judged, criticized, or belittled, his energy changes. He becomes distant. He starts to lose interest. Not because he no longer cares, but because he no longer feels like he can thrive in the relationship. Many women do not realize how much power they hold in how a man feels about himself. A man who feels respected by his woman will move mountains for her. He will protect her, love her, and stay deeply connected because she makes him feel like the man he wants to be. But a man who feels disrespected, who feels like he is constantly failing, will pull away. He may stay physically, but emotionally, he will be gone. Respect is shown in the way you talk to him, in the way you respond to his efforts, in the way you make him feel when he is around you. It is in the way you listen, the way you trust, the way you support him without trying to control him. It is in the way you handle disagreements, whether you attack his character or focus on the problem. It is in the way you appreciate even the small things he does, because to a man, those small things are often his way of showing love. Women sometimes make the mistake of thinking that if they push a man hard enough, he will become better, that if they constantly correct him, point out his flaws, or tell him how he should improve, he will rise to meet their expectations. But this is not how men work. A man does not improve when he feels like a failure. He improves when he feels like he is already enough and wants to become even better. He steps up for the woman who believes in him, not the one who constantly reminds him where he is lacking. The strongest relationships are not built on control or perfection, but on mutual respect. A woman who understands this will never have to beg for effort, for attention, for commitment. Because when a man feels truly respected, he naturally wants to give more. He naturally wants to invest. He naturally wants to stay close, because the connection is not a battle. It is a place where he feels at home. Respect is not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It is about addressing issues in a way that does not tear him down but lifts him up. It is about recognizing his efforts even when they are not perfect. It is about understanding that men thrive in an environment where they feel appreciated, not in one where they constantly feel like they are falling short. A woman who masters this will have a man who is devoted to her in a way that no amount of manipulation, guilt, or pressure could ever achieve. Because a man does not stay where he feels controlled, criticized, or defeated. He stays where he feels valued, admired, and deeply respected. Men express love differently, and trust with emotional safety keeps them close. These two truths define the depth of a man's connection in a relationship. A man does not always express love in words. He may not say, "I love you" every day or write long messages filled with emotions, but that does not mean his love is any less intense. His love is in his actions, in his consistency, in the way he shows up, in the things he does to make life easier, in the way he protects, in the way he stays. A woman who understands this will never feel unloved simply because the words are not there, because she sees the love in how he chooses to be there. A man expresses love through what he provides, through his sense of responsibility, through the sacrifices he makes, through the way he ensures that his woman is safe, secure, and supported. He may not always express affection in a way that is obvious, but he speaks love in a language that is different from what is often expected. A man will fix things for the woman he loves, whether it is something broken in the house or a problem she is dealing with. He will show love by solving, by handling, by making things easier. And when his love is dismissed or overlooked because it does not come in the form of grand words or romantic gestures, he feels unseen. He feels unappreciated. He feels like what he does is not enough. A woman who constantly complains that he does not say the right things or show love in the exact way she wants may push him away without realizing it. He will feel like he is failing no matter what he does. And when a man feels like he is losing in a relationship, he starts to disconnect, not because he wants to leave, but because he feels like he is never good enough. Love for a man is not always emotional in the way it is for a woman. It is practical. It is shown in the way he provides, in the way he remains dependable, in the way he stays even when things are tough. He may not always say the perfect words, but he will show up when it matters. And that is love. The depth of his connection is strengthened when he feels emotionally safe. A man will not open up in a space where he feels judged, attacked, or constantly corrected. He needs to feel like he can be himself without always being under pressure to perform. He needs to feel like he can express himself without every word being questioned or turned against him. Many men do not open up because they have learned that when they do, they are met with more criticism than understanding. They choose silence over vulnerability because it feels safer. If a man is used to hearing, "You never do this right," or "You should be more like this," he will start to withdraw emotionally. He will shut down, not because he does not care, but because it feels like no matter what he says, it will not be enough. When a man feels emotionally safe, he shares more, he connects more, he listens more, he invests more into the relationship because he feels like he is in a space where he is truly accepted. He may not always have the words to express what he feels, but he will show his emotions in the way he treats you, in the way he listens, in the way he makes an effort, even when he does not have to. A man thrives when he knows that he can come home and not feel like he is entering another battle. If the world already makes him feel pressured, criticized, and challenged, the one place he should feel at peace is in the presence of his woman. If he feels like home is where he will be met with more demands, more criticism, more expectations that he cannot meet, he will start to see the relationship as something that drains him rather than something that restores him. And when a man feels drained, he pulls away. A man values respect over love. He may not always say it, but deep within, respect is what makes him feel like a man. A man can be deeply in love, but if he does not feel respected, that love will not be enough to keep him fully engaged in the relationship. A woman may say she loves him, but if her words, actions, and attitudes show otherwise, he will feel disconnected. When a man feels respected, he feels empowered. He feels like he is trusted. He feels like he is valued for who he is, not just for what he can provide. Respect is not about blind submission. It is about recognizing his efforts, appreciating his strengths, and treating him with dignity, even in moments of disagreement. A man does not feel respected when he is constantly corrected, criticized, or spoken to in a way that makes him feel small. He does not feel respected when his efforts are dismissed as not enough. He does not feel respected when he is belittled, especially in front of others. A man's ego is fragile in ways that are often misunderstood. He does not need to be constantly praised, but he does need to feel like he matters. He needs to feel like his opinions hold weight, like his role in the relationship is significant. When a man feels respected, he feels at home. He feels like he belongs. He feels like he is in a place where he can thrive. And when he feels this, he will do anything to protect that space. A woman who understands this will be mindful of how she speaks to her man, how she addresses him, how she responds to him, even when she is frustrated. Disagreements are normal, but the way they are handled determines whether the relationship grows or breaks. A man will shut down emotionally if he feels like his woman does not see him as capable or worthy. If he feels like he is just there to fulfill expectations without any real appreciation, he will disconnect. Respect is not just about what is said, but how it is said. It is in tone, in body language, in timing. It is in the little things, in the moments when no one is watching. A man who feels respected will always be drawn closer, while a man who feels disrespected will eventually pull away, no matter how much love is present. A man needs his woman to believe in him. A man can carry the weight of the world if he knows that his woman believes in him. He can face failures, rejections, and disappointments, but if he comes home to a woman who still sees his strength, still trusts his vision, still supports him, even when he doubts himself, he will rise again. A woman's belief in her man fuels him. It gives him confidence. It makes him feel like he is capable of more. A man does not always say how much it means to him, but when his woman believes in him, he feels like he can take on anything. When a man senses doubt, when he feels like his woman does not trust his decisions or constantly questions his ability to lead, he feels weaker. He starts second-guessing himself. He starts feeling like he has to prove something rather than simply be. And that pressure can either push him to overwork himself in a desperate attempt to be seen as worthy, or cause him to withdraw because he feels like he will never be enough. A woman's belief in her man is not about ignoring his mistakes or blindly following. It is about understanding that he is human, that he is trying, that he is learning. It is about reminding him of his strengths when he forgets them himself. It is about making sure that he knows that even in his struggles, he is still respected, still valued, still trusted. A man will fight through difficulties, take risks, and push beyond his limits when he knows that his woman believes in him. He does not need constant reassurance, but he does need to know that his partner sees his potential. When a man feels like his woman is his biggest supporter, his confidence grows, his ambition strengthens, his love deepens. But when he feels like she doubts him, criticizes his choices, or constantly questions his ability, he starts to feel small. And a man who feels small in his relationship will not be the best version of himself. A man stays where there is peace. The world is already a battlefield. The pressures of work, society, and responsibility weigh on him every day. He does not need to come home to another battle. A man values peace in his relationship more than anything else. He does not want to argue over every little thing. He does not want to feel like he is walking on eggshells. He does not want to feel like his home is a place where he constantly has to defend himself. A man will always choose a space that feels peaceful even if it is not perfect. Peace does not mean silence. It does not mean avoiding problems. It means knowing that disagreements can happen without destruction. It means knowing that conversations can be had without attacks. It means knowing that he can express his thoughts without being met with hostility. A man does not want a relationship that feels like a constant fight for survival. He wants to feel like he can breathe, like he can relax, like he can exist without always being on edge. A woman who understands this will know that the way she handles conflict, the way she addresses issues, the way she manages emotions in the relationship determines whether her man will feel drawn to her or distant from her. If every conversation turns into an argument, if every small mistake leads to an explosion, if every moment together feels tense, a man will start to detach, not because he does not love, but because he craves peace. And if he cannot find peace in his relationship, he will find it somewhere else. A man stays where he feels calm, where he feels safe, where he feels like he is not always in defense mode. If a woman wants to keep her man close, she must understand that peace is not weakness. It is not about avoiding real issues. It is about creating a space where love can grow without the weight of unnecessary battles. A man does not need perfection. He does not need constant approval. He needs a space that feels like home, where he can rest, where he can trust, where he can be himself without fear of constant conflict. And when he finds that, he will never leave. A man values loyalty above all else. It is not just about staying physically present in a relationship, it is about emotional and mental commitment. A man needs to know that the woman beside him is not just with him when things are good, but is standing firm when challenges arise. A man's loyalty is often tested by life's trials, financial struggles, personal failures, moments of doubt, and in those moments, he watches closely to see if his woman is still by his side. He needs to feel that she is not just waiting for him to succeed, but is walking with him through the process, through the uncertainty, through the times when things do not look promising. A man remembers who was there when he had nothing, who stood beside him when he had no clear direction, who did not lose faith in him when the future was unclear. That loyalty builds a deep bond, one that no external force can break. Loyalty is not just about staying, it is about how a woman chooses to stay. A woman can be physically present, but emotionally distant. She can be in a relationship, but still entertain doubts about whether she is with the right person. She can say she supports her man, but also criticize him in ways that make him feel like she does not believe in his potential. A man does not just want a woman who is there. He wants a woman who is truly with him, who understands him, who trusts the vision even when she cannot see the full picture. A man wants to feel like he is not alone in his journey, that he has a partner, not just a companion. A woman's loyalty is tested in the small things, the way she speaks about her man when he is not around, the way she defends him when others question him, the way she reassures him when he starts to doubt himself. A man is not looking for perfection. He is looking for consistency. He is looking for the woman who does not switch sides when circumstances change. He is looking for the one who does not let temporary struggles dictate her level of faith in him. A man will go to war for a woman who is truly loyal to him, and he will never forget the one who stood by him when he was still building, when he was still finding his way, when the world had not yet recognized his value. A man needs to feel desired. He does not just want to feel needed. He wants to feel wanted. There is a difference between staying with a man because he provides security and choosing him every day because he excites you, because you see him as someone you deeply desire. A man may not always say it, but he notices when his woman looks at him with admiration, when she genuinely enjoys his presence, when she chooses him not out of obligation but out of true attraction. A man feels the difference between a woman who stays because it is comfortable and a woman who stays because she truly values him. When a man does not feel desired, he starts to feel like he is just a provider, like he is only there to fulfill duties rather than to be appreciated as a person. He starts to feel disconnected, unappreciated, invisible. A woman may think that a man does not need affection as much as she does, but the truth is, he does. He may not ask for it in the same way, but he craves it. He wants to feel that his presence excites his woman, that she looks at him and sees someone worth choosing every single day. A woman who understands this will not let routine kill the attraction in the relationship. She will not let familiarity turn into neglect. She will remind her man, not just through words, but through actions, that he is still the one she wants. She will show him that even after time has passed, he is still the man who excites her, who inspires her, who makes her heart race. When a man feels desired, he feels alive in the relationship. He feels connected. He feels like he is not just needed but wanted. And that changes everything. A man needs space to be himself. He does not want to feel trapped, controlled, or constantly monitored. A man needs to know that he can breathe within a relationship, that he can still have his own identity, his own thoughts, his own ambitions. A man who feels like he has to explain every action, defend every decision, or constantly prove himself will start to feel suffocated. And when a man feels suffocated, he starts to withdraw. He starts to crave freedom, not because he does not love his woman, but because he does not feel like he can fully be himself around her. A woman who understands this will not see space as a threat. She will not take it personally when her man needs time to think, to recharge, to focus on his own journey. She will not assume that his silence means he does not care. She will understand that a man needs moments to process his emotions, to figure things out on his own, to step back so he can come back even stronger. A man does not want a woman who constantly demands his attention to prove his love. He wants a woman who trusts him enough to let him have his space without questioning his commitment. When a man feels like he is given space, he does not run away from the relationship. He runs back to it. He values it more. He feels like he is with someone who understands him on a deeper level, someone who does not see his need for independence as a lack of love, but as part of who he is. And in that freedom, he chooses to stay. He chooses to invest. He chooses to give even more. A woman who gives a man space is not pushing him away. She is allowing him to grow, to become more, to bring back even more love and energy into the relationship. A man stays where he feels trusted, not where he feels controlled. And the more trust he feels, the deeper his commitment becomes.